Well, well, well. Here we are again. I think I will start by just leaving a message in the chat. Hello, everybody. I couldn't get back to sleep. So let's talk about sobriety. How many days you got? Oops. Okay. What a mess. Good morning, Chris. How are you, my friend? You're the first one here. Hello, Lara. Ah, what a day. What a good day to be sober. Hello from Alaska. You know, Brandon, I've never visited Alaska, but it holds a deep appeal for me. Uh, there's something about the ruggedness of the place that recently, before I moved, I live here in Cyprus, right? And the reason I'm here is because of some visa issues that I had in Europe. And before I moved here, I was looking for viable places to come and live. And Alaska has an oddly favorable visa program, but so does uh, that island north of Norway, Svalbard, where it is a legal requirement to own a gun because there are so many polar bears. Alaska and Svalbard are quite closely linked in my mind. Okay, wow, lots of variety. Lord Howe Island. Hey, Timmer Tube 75. What's Lord Howe Island like? What's life like on Lord Howe? Sober Strong's here. Hello, my old friend. How are you? Well, let me introduce what this live stream is today. I haven't done one forever. Uh, I find them difficult to manage. I hope you understand. But I couldn't sleep, so I have a cat and a dog, and they came to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning and immediately started fighting. And in the end, I had to get up because I couldn't get back to sleep. I start working. I have to leave in an hour, so I thought I'd just check in with you lot. How are you all? How is sobriety? Good, bad? Tell me everything. Yeah, Mexico too, huh? Congratulations on 2 years of sobriety. That's a big milestone. Things change. Good morning from Belarus. I don't have any free candies. Ironically. Wow, that's a deep reference. You really know my content. All right, so Max Lazarow says, "Good morning from Belarus. Belarus, do you have any free candies?" That's a reference to the time I bribed my way in to Belarus using Ferrero Rocher uh, with a consular official in Ukraine. They wouldn't let me in, and I had a day to get a visa. Otherwise, I couldn't get the Trans-Siberian all the way to China. So I bribed an official to get into Belarus. No candies today, Max, but thank you for remembering that. Your memory is incredible. Oh, hammered on Baiju. That's not a good hammered. There is no such thing as a good hammered, obviously, but Baiju is just about the worst it gets. Uh, that'll really spin you out really quickly. Hello, Trey. A struggle, but we get by. Yeah. Well, hopefully we get to a point where we're so good at struggling that it no longer feels like a struggle, you know. Uh, Hello, Kelly's rat. First time joining in. Welcome. Pre-sobriety. Well, that's an interesting term, isn't it? Pre-sobriety. That's a little bit of a generous euphemism for yourself there, Kelly's rat. I think you might be being unnecessarily diplomatic. It's okay to say you're an alcoholic here, or you have an alcohol use disorder, or you suspect you do. But I don't know, pre-sober. Now that I think about it, that is something quite optimistic, isn't it? That is a very hopeful way to describe yourself. Hello, my name is Bad Country. I'm pre-sober. A little bit like Do you get like pre-sober stress? Are you grumpy and you want to be left alone and eat ice cream because you're pre-sober? I certainly felt like that for a very long time. Also, hello, Haita Matsola, a non-alcoholic fan. Many alcoholics in the family. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Alcoholism does a huge amount of collateral damage, and you don't have to be an alcoholic to be affected by it. But it is interesting how many non-alcoholics tune in for my little TV show, for my little sobriety corner of the internet. I get a lot. I tell you what happens, right? I'm not sure what it is about my content, but it's watched by a large proportion of people who are not themselves alcoholic, but have alcoholics in their lives, right? And they tend to be quiet in the comments, but my email inbox is full of them. If you do ever want to drop me an email, it's stu@batcountry.co, or the links are usually in the description. I reply to everything. But yeah, non-alcoholic viewers tend to be like the silent majority, perhaps. And I don't know about that, but yeah, there's many of you. You're not alone. Good night from Belgium, from Mike's Mods. What does the name from Binkadink Music? Good name. Why the name Bat Country? Yeah, good question. So, Bat Country means two things. In my very first, hello dog, in my very first experience with delirium tremens, I hallucinated. My first hallucination was of a giant bat. And that hallucination has stayed with me more than most. Look at you. You trying to get your little moment? You trying to be famous? Come and say hello to the backcountry fans. You cute. It's breakfast time for the dog. Anyway, backcountry. So I hallucinated bats in a very long and protracted hallucination. I thought a bat was crawling up my wall. I caught it in a box, took the box outside, and left it on my doorstep. And then a couple of days, once the hallucinations had subsided, I went to check the box and it was empty. And that made me realize that the last of the four or 5 days, I've been hallucinating. And that ties in with the reference to Bat Country in Hunter S. Thompson's essays, Fear and Loathing, the Fear and Loathing essays, particularly Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, where he uses Bat Country as a euphemism for this kind of heightened hallucinatory drug alcohol state. And I understand now that I've been to Bad Country. And I named the channel Bad Country because Bad Country has become a euphemism for that kind of state of withdrawal, hallucinogenic, hallucinatory, delusional state. That's why the name Bad Country. Excuse me one moment. I know it's breakfast. You can't do shouts. You can't do shouts at me. I'm speaking to my friends. Yeah, good girl. Okay, let me catch up again. Where are we up to? About 2 months sober here. Have been reading Just Crazy Enough to Work, a great book. Thank you, Funkenstoffel. I'm glad to hear you're feeling better. The first month was rough. Yeah, first month of sobriety is hard. In fact, most of us trip over in the first month more than once because it can be so hard that the easier option seems to be to take a drink again. But it's a false economy. Don't If you pick up again in the first month, all you're doing is pushing the reset button and making it harder the next time. Unfortunately, it's easy for people like me with like 3 years, some time of sobriety to say, don't drink in the first month. But that's because we managed to break out, and that temptation can be overwhelming. So I do understand. Uh, Candy Kim, in Smart Recovery, we call it pre-contemplation. Yeah, I've heard that phrase. I still have a foot in smart every now and then. Pre-contemplation is the kind of the consideration phase of getting sober, of just the moments as you start to take it seriously. Correct me if I'm wrong, Candy Kim, about that. I think that you probably know it better. Taffy, I recognize your Avi, Taffy. I think we've spoken in the past. What prompted you to do this tonight? Well, it is currently 5 o'clock in the morning, and my dog and my cat woke me up, and I couldn't get back to sleep. And I have about half an hour before I have to get ready for work. So I thought, you know what, why not point the camera at my face, check in with you guys, check in with myself, and get back into the groove of doing lives and do it while most of the British people are asleep. Because it seems to be the British people who make these things difficult. uh, Kangaroo soup. The cat is called Lumi. That's a Finnish word for snow because he has this very kind of dirty, snowy appearance. And my dog's name is Laika. Laika, it means two things. Laika is the first dog in space. Unfortunately and tragically, didn't survive the journey. It was kind of jettisoned into space as a test by the Soviets. But I think it's as tragic as that story, it's worth memorializing. It's worth remembering that we do these things to dogs and stuff. But it's also my favorite camera brand. And Leica is a very premium, very luxury. I have one around somewhere. I won't go and get it, but just take my word for it. I actually have two. Um, and Leica makes very, very good cameras. And the original, not the original, the second owner of Leica, a man called Lights, which is the lie in Leica, Lights cameras, Leica, was a very, very interesting man who was a little bit like a kind of Schindler character in the Second World War, helped a lot of people. So an iconic character. So it's named after a camera brand, which is really crap, but also to memorialize the first dog in space. Fucking hell. I'm a weird person. Hello from Canada. Hello, Noah. Where did we get to? Okay, we're up to here. Contemplation phase for me. Okay, I'm glad to hear that, Kaylee's rat. I really hope that you make good decisions about this. And as I said, the early stages are easy. And while it's never good to prepare to fail, you can at least prepare for it to be difficult and manage your own expectations, and you'll do better. Uh, I know what you want. You're trying to drag me to the kitchen to put the food in you, aren't you? Michael McGuinn, 6 months sober. Fantastic. That is a very, very strong milestone to hit. Tell us what you've noticed. Unbeatable Jacob, can you sign my copy of Just Crazy Enough to Work audiobook? Can I sign your audiobook? How might I manage this? Let's do it now. I'll consider this as signature. Uh, Unbeatable Jacob, good luck out there. Signed, Bad Country. I hope the microphone distortion is not too difficult. I'm actually not using this one. I'm leaning towards it. I'm using my headphones because this one is a pain to set up. I tried, but no luck today. Oh, my friend from Japan. Good morning, Tokyo. Arigato. Konnichiwa. Uh, Congratulations on 3 years sober strong. Super strong. For those of you who don't know, we go back away. And Sober Strong's channel, I tend to be quiet in other content creators' comments because I don't want to be kind of, well, I don't like to be up in everybody's comments. But Sober Strong is really doing important work, providing a voice alternative to people like me and liver disease and a few others, providing some really honest experience from a different perspective. And I check in quite often with Sober Strong. So I'm glad to see you still doing so well. And I'm glad to see you being so honest that it's not easy as well, Sober Strong. Because you're very good at talking about the struggle as well as the success. And I think that's important. Mark Doe asks, do you feel some sober YouTubers reinforce alcohol use merely by talking about the extent of their use, yet they still talk coherently and have made it to a reasonable age? Talking about a subject is not inherently glamorizing it. It's not inherently romanticizing it just because you discuss it. That's my position. I don't think that you can reinforce alcohol use by discussing your experience of it. Um, Look, most of my audience is my age or older or around my age. I'm not reaching impressionable, like teenagers. I'm reaching people who are old enough to have made a decision about it. That said, I do think it's important to to be aware that we have an obligation and a responsibility with the stuff that we put out into the world. And occasionally my own standards slip slightly, um, which is a shame, and I try not to do it. But to answer your question directly, do we reinforce alcohol use merely by talking about it? No. Um, I don't think so. But I'm willing to be argued with on that. Let's go. Let's continue going. I didn't expect this to be quite so popular already, so I'm struggling to keep up with the comments, and I have to disappear in like 15 minutes. 139 days today from JRDZK19R. You've been in my comments for a while as well, so I'm glad to see you making such good progress. Uh, Justin Goodban. I'm close to 2 years sober, congratulations, but still experiencing tactile hallucinations daily. Interesting. Let's talk about that for a while. I My experience with delirium tremens and hallucinations changed my brain permanently. And I also still have visual hallucinations every day when I'm falling asleep. Um, my dreams creep into my waking life every day without exception, and in the mornings a little bit too. And I think that is as a result of the changes, the kind of neural changes that occurred in my brain as a result of extreme withdrawals over and over again. And I wonder if maybe you're encountering the same thing just with tactile hallucinations. They're deeply, deeply unsettling. Um, and I'm not sure when they go away. It changes your relationship with reality. Uh, okay. Hello from Bristol. UK is waking up. Keep up the great work and videos. Thank you, Moon Cosm. And hello to you in Bristol, even though Bristol is is responsible for the decline of Southampton, my hometown. No, it's not your fault that you guys built ships better than we did. 3.5 years sober today from Sterling Daffyd. Uh, Going to Wales on Saturday. I want to drink a shandy. 3.5 years sober. Don't drink a shandy. Shandies are shit. They're horrible. They're pointless. Drink a nice fresh spicy ginger beer or something. But congratulations on your sobriety. I'm glad you appreciate the inscription, Mr. Jacob. Hello from Denver. Hello to Denver. Uh, you're right. I should. Andrew Swanborough, you're right. I should feed the dog. I'll do it in a moment. Uh, uh, I don't know why. From Dogwater66, I don't know why, but your channel was vital in kicking my ketamine habit. Haven't used in 1.5 years. Wow, you and I go way back. I'm glad to hear that. Ketamine is a difficult one because I won't get into it. But well done on your progress. Uh, Mr. Stormcrow, hope you're doing well too, my friend. But Monkey OG, this is an unexpected opportunity to be able to thank you personally. I was there for the worst of my brother's alcoholism. He actually showed up to my place during DT, believing I was in danger. Okay, well, look, I didn't. This isn't a bad country appraisal live stream. I'm not here to just accept compliments from people. But look, I appreciate the thanks, but you should thank yourself. Right? It was you that got yourself through that. If you found my videos or if you read the right books, that's because you chose to. So congratulations to you. And I'm sorry that you had to experience that. It is a horrible thing to witness. But Monkey continues, sorry, you've been the catalyst for beginning to understand what my brother is going through. He's obviously overwhelmed with shame. I have no desire to poke open old wounds, so you gave me the perspective required to truly empathize with him. I'm very, that's beautiful to hear. Thank you very much. Uh, Candy Kim, as a sober woman, why do you think there are so many fewer women that talk about their addiction? I'm curious about your perspective. I think Sober Strong might be a better position to answer that, but I will share an opinion. Um, this opinion, I don't know why, even this opinion, as moderate as it is, tends to annoy people. But the expectations and pressures on women in sobriety and addiction are different from those on men. And women who talk openly about addiction, women who talk openly about any flaws that they have, flaw, FLAWS, any woman who makes herself vulnerable on in a public forum opens themselves up to a kind of criticism that people who look like me just don't get. Not really. It's my opinion. Like all the best therapists I've had have been women. All the most, like for example, not just because Sober Strong is on my mind because she's in the chat. One of the things that really stuck with me was about how she realized that she was an introverted person rather than an extroverted person. Never heard a guy say that, but it was true to me, and it was a real turning point in my own sobriety. Uh, there's That's why I think that the reception to women is so hostile, whatever they say online, that it's not just in the discussion of addiction, it's also discussion of anything personal like sex or finances or business or anything like that. So that's why that's my opinion, Candy Kid. We could certainly use more diverse voices if you care to pick up a microphone at some point. Cygnus Base, Stu, I can't believe I caught a live stream on the other side of the world. Look, I mean, when I started, I did a few test live streams a while ago, and I wanted to deliberately do them at funky times to reach like the Australian and New Zealand audience, which I know is a big one for me. And it just, the stars aligned this morning. I couldn't sleep, so I just pointed the camera at my big red face and started talking. You remind me a bit of Hugh Jackman at the start of Les Miserables. Um, Thank you, I think. Although I thought his performance in that was really bad. I gotta be honest. I thought he was terrible. It's pretty awesome though that they cast him in Wolverine. I think the casting director just went, "We need a huge jacked man," and someone went, "Hugh Jackman." Okay. Uh, okay. Living in Winchester. I need to scroll back up again. Here we go. Some talk of Sober Start 42. Justice White says, I have PTSD from delirium tremens. So do I. It faded away in time. I can tell you that the PTSD caused directly by delirium tremens, it really receded for me. The more I learned about it, that's what I advise doing. If you're struggling with it, go and learn. Go and learn about the mechanics behind how it happens and why. That's how I kind of got over it, was just by learning as much as I possibly could about it. Hey, Dom. Hiya back. Hello. Okay. From Japan. This one might sound weird. I've been sober for almost 4 years. Congratulations. But I feel like my patience and temper have been permanently rewired and I'm less tolerant than I used to be. Is it just me? So from GDP Japan asking if them having a short temper is a result of getting sober. I'm the same, man. I've got far less patience for bullshit than I did when I was drinking. I think it's partially a component of age. As we get older, we just tolerate less. But yeah, I've noticed it too. I'm certainly less tolerant. Yeah, it's not you. Much less patience. I get so annoyed with strangers and stuff. Yeah, and it's terrible. But it also makes me more assertive. It's like it's kind of made me better profession. Being sober has made me better professionally because I'm less likely to tolerate somebody's nonsense. Yeah. Yeah. Jim, morning from deepest darkest Surrey. Hello from Cyprus. I used to live in Surrey as well, near Warlingham. If you're anywhere near that region, that's where I used to live when I was 25. I rented an apartment in an old people in a retirement home. It was perfect. I highly recommend it. I don't know how they let me in, but it was good for noisy people like me because the old people never complained. Uh, okay. Weld it. My 35-year-old nephew drunk texts me. He says horrible, vulgar, insulting, enraging, abhorrent criticism. What can I do about this? All right. I'm going to skip straight to the harshest advice here. You are well within your rights to cut out any alcoholic who is having a significantly negative impact on your own life. Uh, it's something that we all have to face. I've had to cut people out of my own life after I got sober, and some people came very close to cutting me out. In fact, I did lose friends. Some people did cut me out, and it was for the best. Um, it's look, there is a line at which the police will consider it harassment. And if you're unable to cut your cousin out yourself, and if they're not going to listen to you, setting boundaries and over again, and threatening to cut them off, if none of that works, the police is an option. I hesitate to recommend that because I hate recommending the police to anybody. Try not to get them involved as much as possible, but that is a viable option for you. Uh, Block the number. You don't need it, man. It's not your responsibility to deal with other people's inner chaos, because that's what that is. That is a projection of that person's suffering. He's trying to make other people suffer around him. Yeah, nephew, him. So that's what that is. It's pure projection, and it's not your responsibility to deal with it, and it's absolutely not your responsibility to tolerate it. So speak to them when they're sober. Say if it happens again, I'm cutting you off. Say if it happens again, I'm blocking you. Then if it happens again after that, cut them out completely. And then if it happens again, go to the police. Sometimes it's the only way that people will learn. Like cutting people out is make or break time. That's the time at which that person will discover whether they have the capacity to improve their life on. And that's my advice. Good question though. UG Light, good arvo. Everyone from Central Coast Australia. Good morning. Um, Ginger beer is pungent, strong ginger flavor, kind of stings the nose like wasabi in a way from King Doge. Yeah, that's why I like it too. And that's also why I like wasabi. Uh, no soup for you. Love your content, brother. Well, I love your comments. So thank you very much. I'm going to have to. Oh, thank you, Dr. Prasanun Gupta. Thank you. You passed, I think you passed me uh, a little sponsor. I think you've done a super like for me, but in the past. So it's always a pleasure. Thank you so much. It means a lot to me. Let's pick a couple more, and then I have to go feed the dog. What are your thoughts on alcohol ankle monitors? I think the price is insane for people who are usually not well off, but it's kept me sober when I couldn't do it myself. I have no personal experience with that. God, that's a thinker. Alex McDonald, that's an excellent question. I'm not going to share. I won't do an opinion off the top of my head because that's never a good way to share an opinion. So that's my answer. I don't know. I don't have an opinion. But if it's working for you and you have first-hand experience, then that so far is also my experience. I'm in favor. uh, uh, J. Radham, 1989, just like everywhere I go, completely ignored. I'm sorry, Radham, if I missed one of your comments. There were a lot coming in. But I see you. Good morning all from Cyprus. Well, good morning also from Cyprus. Let's go for a coffee. Berlin here, also can't sleep. Guten Morgen. 9 Monaten gestern. 9 months yesterday. Hope everyone's doing all right today. Congratulations on 9 months. It was a big threshold for me too. Like my in the first year, my like trips, my obstacles, my stumbles all came in 3 months intervals. So after 1 month, it was 3 months, 6 months, and 9 months, and then 12 months. They all tripped me up. So do be proud of your 9 months, but also stay vigilant. Uh, okay. 9 months sober. Indiana Paul, 9 months sober from alcohol, weed, and smoking all at once. Oh, you did it the hard way, Paul. Congratulations. And Udici, out of curiosity, how do you view addictive substances other than alcohol? Look, I'm not on a crusade, and it's not my intention to make everybody quit everything just because I can't do that thing. Okay, give me 2 minutes and I'll wrap up. All right. Um, but I think that it's necessary that we have the freedom to do things, even if those things are bad for us. And I have a lot of experience with other addictive substances alongside alcohol. But for me, alcohol was the one that ruined my life. And it's also the one that happens to be legal. And therefore, I think it's the most dangerous. I think it is more dangerous than even if other narcotics, for example, are more addictive, are more instantly addictive. I still think alcohol is more dangerous socially on the large scale. And that's my thinking. Listen, that's been half an hour already. I can't believe how many of you joined just on this kind of random live stream because I couldn't sleep. So what a pleasure it's been. I'm going to end it here, feed my lovely dog. You want some freedoms? You want some freedoms? Yeah, you do. Look at you, little happy dance for the freedoms. Say goodbye to all my friends. Speak. There we go, good girl. And as always, thank you for watching. Good luck.